On September 15th, 2016, a user named JasonInHell made a post on r/relationship advice that seemed, at first glance, like thousands of others on the subreddit. Titled, "I'm having a hard time coping with my wife having cheated on me with our neighbor." It detailed a painful but seemingly standard domestic issue. Jason, a 30-year-old father, described finding suspicious texts on his wife Brandy's phone between the neighbor and her. But unlike most relationship drama on Reddit, Jason's series of posts went far beyond just venting, preserving a chilling log of a man unknowingly documenting the final days of his family. While the original threads have since been deleted by Reddit administrators, the archives remain. Jason registered a new burner account to tell a story that he had been holding in for over a year, writing, "I caught my wife cheating on me over a year ago. I stayed with her for the sake of our children, but I haven't been able to get it off of my mind since. It has been 476 days since I confronted her about it. How do I know? Because every time I catch myself thinking about it, I tell myself, it's only been X days, maybe you won't think about it tomorrow." Jason then detailed exactly how his marriage to his wife, Brandy Worley, began to disintegrate. It started with the classic signs. In May of 2015, Brandy put a password on her phone. When Jason asked why, she claimed she was planning a surprise Father's Day present and did not want to ruin the surprise. A week later, she confessed that the present was a new home office, to be built by their neighbor, a local contractor. Jason felt guilty for suspecting her. But as time went on, the office wasn't getting built, and the neighbor was spending a lot of time at their house. Eventually, Jason's paranoia won out. So one morning, he waited for Brandy to get in the shower and grabbed her phone before it locked. He wrote, "I go through her messages and find that she is texting the neighbor. I am all covered in frosting, you want to lick it off?" There were no other messages to the neighbor, but I found out later that was because she had set up her phone to delete messages after a certain amount of time. Driven by a gnawing need for the truth, Jason started checking her location using Google Timeline. He noticed massive gaps in the history. She was manually disabling the GPS to hide her tracks. By July, Jason admitted that the paranoia was driving him nuts. Paranoid and desperate, he installed AT&T Message Backup and Restore on her device under the guise of antivirus software. Now, every text she sent would appear on his computer. The situation escalated the very next day, writing, "The next day, my mother asks to spend time with my 2 kids, so my wife drops them off with her, giving Brandy a free day off from their 2 children, 7-year-old Tyler and 3-year-old Charlie." According to Jason, he then watched his wife's activity from work as she spends the day trying to meet up with the neighbor, but is unsuccessful because he is busy with another job site. That evening, the 2 couples, Jason and Brandy, and the neighbor and his girlfriend went out to dinner. The audacity of what happened next is difficult to comprehend. Jason writing, "My wife and his girlfriend are having a good time, drinking, laughing, and just joking around. His girlfriend then mentions that they would like to go see the movie, Magic Mike, XXL. Jason, trying to be the good guy, offered to watch the kids so the girls could go. And while the women were at the theater, the neighbor came back with Jason to his house. The atmosphere in the living room was suffocating. Jason sat on one couch. The man secretly sleeping with his wife sat on the other. Jason writing, "It is at this point that my wife starts texting him. She is describing sex acts she would like to perform with him, and he is reciprocating. She tells him to check his Snapchat, and at the same time I get a Snapchat from her too, and it is her fingering herself in a bathroom stall. They keep talking, trying to figure out when they can meet up and have sex. They decide on Monday morning, after I go to work. So in my head, I had already planned to pretend to leave and circle back to catch them. But then they tell each other that they love each other, and it is all I can do to not leap off the couch and knock him out. But I contain myself and continue reading the conversation unfolding in front of me. Then he tells her, 'You're my girl now,' to which she replies, 'Always have been,' ending with him writing, 'and always will be.' When Brandy and the neighbor's girlfriend returned from the movie, Jason finally confronted her and calmly asked everyone to sit down. He looked at both Brandy and the neighbor and asked, 'So, you two love each other, huh?' Brandy immediately went into full-blown denial mode, while the neighbor's girlfriend, realizing the truth, started physically smacking the neighbor. Jason then began a systematic dismantling of her lies, writing, 'I ask my wife if she has been texting him. She says no. So I show her the text messages. She admits to it, but says it was the first time it had gone that far. I ask my wife if she has sent him pictures. She says no. So I show her the picture. She admits it, but says it was the first time. I ask her if she's having sex with him, and she says no. Because I didn't wait to catch them having sex together, I didn't have evidence to prove her wrong, so that one stayed unresolved. With the lies exposed, Jason made his decision. He told Brandy he was leaving. But instead of apologizing, Brandy weaponized their children, telling Jason that if he left, she would make sure he never saw their 7-year-old son or 3-year-old daughter again. Threatening to use a suicide attempt Jason had made in high school to prove him mentally unfit in court. But the manipulation only intensified. Writing, "That Monday I go to work and I get text from her in the middle of a meeting with my bosses stating that she had explained things to our kids but that they were upset and I need to explain it to them also. I get home from work to find my kids crying. She had told them that mommy had to move out because dad was mad at her. When my son wanted to stay with me, she told him that he can't. My son put it together that if mommy has to move out because I'm mad at her and he must move out, then I must have been mad at him too. My daughter was crying because my son was. I don't think she was old enough to understand what was happening." Terrified of losing his kids, Jason's fate was sealed. Quote, "It was at that moment I realized she was going to drag the kids through hell if I left her, so I swallowed my feelings and begged her to stay." However, the humiliation did not end. Brandy insisted that to maintain appearances, Jason had to apologize to the neighbor, the very man involved in the affair. Quote, "She agreed and insisted that I apologize to our neighbor since we were still going to need to hang out with them because our sons are good friends. I hate it, but I do it anyway. We still hang out with them from time to time and they come to our various birthday and holiday parties. But I do anything for my kids and I behave civil every time." He lived in misery for another year, sleeping little and watching his life fall apart, just to keep the peace. But a year later, almost exactly around Father's Day again, the cycle repeated. Brandy sent pictures to the neighbor again. She claimed it was a mistake. An accidental text meant for Jason. He didn't fully believe her, but by this point he was too beaten down to fight. He just tried to move on. But the psychological toll was becoming too much. Jason described a specific kind of torture. Quote, "I feel like I have a part of my brain that I can't shut off. I used to use that to solve programming problems. But ever since this incident, the only thing it thinks about is her and him and if I did the right thing." His job performance tanked, he stopped sleeping, he felt completely isolated. He ended that first post with a terrifying admission of hopelessness. "I just feel like I have put myself so deep in a hole that I can never get back out." Jason was blind to the danger he was actually in. Strangers from around the world looked at his life and saw the writing on the wall, commenting, "I cannot believe you stayed with her. I cannot believe you begged her to stay. I cannot believe you apologized to the neighbor. Bro to bro, get the fuck out, grow a backbone. 365 days from now, you will thank me. Plus your kids will thank you as well. Seriously, come on, man. You have got to be absolutely kidding me. You stayed? After that shit, you stayed. Fucking baffling. No, dude, she cannot keep your kids from you. Get yourself a fucking lawyer and sort this shit out. It will suck because you married a fucking asshole, but then it'll be over and you'll be out." Taking this advice to heart, Jason posted an update on November 16th, 2016. He had reached his breaking point, and that he was finally filing for divorce. Writing, "Instead of trying to fix something she doesn't want to fix, she has refused counseling several times in the past before this even happened. I am going to get myself and my kids out. I meet with an attorney next week." So, that night, Jason returned home, and to keep the peace, he set up an air mattress in the basement while Brandy remained on the ground floor with Tyler and Charlie. And after posting his update to Reddit, he closed his eyes. Confident that he was finally taking control of his life, he fell asleep. At 4:35 a.m. the next morning, the 911 dispatch in Darlington, Indiana received a call from Brandy Worley.
Montgomery County, 911. Where's your emergency?
203 South Madison Street.
Okay, what's going on there?
I just stabbed myself and I killed my 2 children.
You stabbed yourself and killed your 2 children?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what is your name?
Brandy Worley.
Brandy what?
Worley?
Okay. And where are the children at?
In my daughter's room. On the floor.
In your daughter's room on the floor. Okay. And what caused you to do this today?
My husband wanted a divorce and wanted to take my kid. I won't let him have my kid.
Okay, and how old are your children?
7 and 3.
10 and 3?
7.
7 and 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and where did you stab yourself at?
In the neck.
Are you bleeding?
Yeah, there's blood everywhere.
Okay, and where are you at?
In my living room.
You're in your living room?
Mm-hmm.
Are you armed with the knife still?
No, it's in my children's room.
Okay, are you still there? Hello? Okay, where's your husband at?
Downstairs somewhere.
Okay, and what's his condition?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
And when you say downstairs, is he in a basement or?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's his name?
Jason.
His what?
Jason.
Nathan.
Jason.
Jason. Jason Worley.
Yeah.
The call ended, leaving the dispatcher with a confession that was as calm as it was horrific. Back at the house, the scene was quiet. When officers from the Darlington Police Department arrived, they found Jason Worley asleep in the basement, completely oblivious to the carnage that had taken place just a few feet above his head. Jason rushed upstairs, confused and disoriented, only to walk into a living nightmare. Brandy was calm. There was no hysteria. She was sitting in the living room, displaying that same terrifying calmness she had on the phone. When she saw Jason, the man she had promised to destroy, she looked him in the eyes and delivered a final, chilling message. "Now you can't take the kids from me." According to court documents, Brandy had entered Tyler's room first. Under the guise of a sleepover, she had asked him to sleep on the floor of his little sister's room. Once he was asleep, she straddled her 7-year-old son and stabbed him in the neck with a combat knife she had purchased at Walmart just hours earlier, a weapon she had bought while claiming she was getting pipe cleaners for his school project. She then turned to 3-year-old Charlie and did the same, before turning the knife on herself. Paramedics on site confirmed that both children had passed away from catastrophic wounds to the neck. Jason's original Reddit thread was still active. Hundreds of users were pouring into the comments section, offering advice on divorce lawyers and custody battles, telling Jason, "You are doing the right thing here, and best of luck to you and your children," completely unaware that there was no longer a custody battle to fight. One comment in particular stands out. A user named "When I Feel Like It" asked, "Who cares if she keeps a close eye on your whereabouts? What the fuck is she gonna do? Leave? Great. Let her leave. Get a goddamn lawyer." But that question, what is she gonna do, was answered in the most horrific way possible. It wasn't until a reply came in from another user who had been cross-referencing the news saying, "Holy shit, this can't be fucking real. This guy's wife just murdered his kids." And attached to his comment was a breaking news article from a local Indiana outlet titled, "Mother Charged with 2 Counts of Murder in Deaths of Her Children." Users on Reddit started connecting the dots. They matched the location, Darlington, Indiana. They matched the ages of the children, 7 and 3. Jason's account went dark for a few weeks, before later confirming he was indeed the father from the news. Writing, "I would like to give a heartfelt and sincere thank you for the advice and support I have received here. No one could have foreseen the tragedy that resulted from me filing for divorce. But the horror wasn't over. The details he shared about the aftermath were just as disturbing as the crime itself." In a now-deleted post on the legal advice subreddit, Jason wrote, "My former mother-in-law has created a GoFundMe using my last name and pictures of the children to raise funds for the mother who murdered them. She intends to use them for her daughter's medical and legal expenses. What can/should be done about this? Followers of Jason's story on the platform immediately rallied. They began mass flagging the campaign, flooding GoFundMe with reports that the page was violating the site's policy against funding the defense of violent crimes. The pressure worked, and within hours the campaign was suspended, then permanently shut down. An update on the page confirmed that the fundraiser was discontinued, and every single cent collected was refunded to the donors. With this grotesque act of cruelty officially shut down, the man known as JasonInHell deleted his profile, vanishing from the public eye. For a long time, it seemed like that was where the story would end. However, 2 years later, on the 22nd of June, 2018, a new account appeared. It was Jason. He returned to Reddit one final time. He verified his identity to the moderators and posted a heartbreaking final update titled, "An update from JasonInHell. I won't lie, I struggled to get back to where I am. For some time, I refused to sleep because of a combination of fear of what I would wake up to and nightmares about that night. I was hospitalized because I did have thoughts of ending my life because I missed my children so much. By putting off treatment, I only caused everything else in my life to suffer. I lost my job and became reclusive to the house. While Jason fought to put his life back together, Brandy had pleaded guilty to the murders and was sentenced to 120 years in prison. But when Jason addressed the sentencing, he revealed a final, psychological twist to the closure. He didn't want mercy for her. He wanted to deny her the one thing she craved. Saying, "Do I think she should have gotten the death penalty, which Indiana has? No, I do not. She wanted to die, and after 9 years of giving her what she wanted when she wanted it, I was not going to give her another thing. Do I think the life sentence will have any appreciable effect on her? I don't know. One thing she always stressed for the entire time that I knew her was that she lived her life without any regrets. Even after I caught her cheating on me, she continued to say she had no regrets." Brandy was gone, locked away for life. But her family, the people who had raised a murderer, remained. Jason revealed that his former in-laws had launched a campaign of harassment against him while he was grieving, writing, "They continue to make visiting my children's grave difficult. During the 1-year anniversary, they sat in their truck and just watched me the whole time I was visiting the grave. Because of that, I don't visit the grave as often as I would like to." Despite everything, Jason ended his last post not with bitterness, but with a final memory to the strangers who had watched his life fall apart. "If I can impart on you something I have learned through all of this, it is that you should always take the time to be with the ones you love. It doesn't matter if they are asking you to read The Pokey Little Puppy for the millionth time, or asking you to play Smash Bros, even though you both know they will wipe the floor with you every time. Just do it because you never know what time will be the last time. Always make sure they know how much you love them. I had the fortune that the last thing my children ever heard me say was, 'I love you, good night. I will see you in the morning.'